This enactment is about Julian. Julian came to see me shortly after his partner Craig had broken up with him. One thing that was really noticeable about Julian was his critical, judgmental nature. Everything he said was a criticism and put down. He would say things like, oh, this one's a moron, this one's a jerk, what an idiot. And he really never saw himself as this brash, critical person. And he also took absolutely no responsibility or accountability for his part in the relationship breakup. So in looking at this adaptation of his, which was critical and judgmental and brash, I asked him 3 questions from Terry Reel's Relational Life Therapy. The first question is, who did this to you when you were a child? In other words, who was critical and brutal to you when you were a child? Second question, who did you see somebody do this to somebody else in the family? Which means, is there anybody in the family who treated somebody else like that? Third question was, who did you do this to and nobody stopped you? And that means, if you were critical and judgmental as a boy, did anybody pull you aside and say, hey, we don't do this here? And Julian's answer was short and quick.
My father.
And what did it feel like to be on the receiving end of his criticism and litany of put-downs?
Awful.
And what impact do you think it had on you?
I felt less than, not worthy, no good.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, every chance he got, he would put me down. Nothing was ever good enough. It's almost as if he liked shaming me and got some sort of perverse pleasure out of it. I mean, after all, I was just a little kid.
Yes, you were just a little kid.
It's funny though, not funny, haha, but he never treated my sister like that. She never got the brunt of his shaming. I often wondered if somewhere deep down inside he knew I was gay.
So you must have been curious and wondered, why me and not her? Yeah. Okay. Julian, will you let me help you?
Oh, sure, but how?
Okay, well, let me be direct here. You have become your father. You have learned to seal yourself off from shame behind this impenetrable wall. And there's a little boy behind that wall who was and is very hurt, probably not dissimilar to your father's little boy. And you've chosen the only way you know to defend yourself, by putting others down. What do you think of that?
I never thought about that. So you're saying that he was brutal to me and I became brutal to others as a way to protect myself.
That's exactly what I'm saying, right? There's a little boy there that needs to be healed. Hey, he needs to be heard and told that he's a wonderful little boy, just one who pushes people away so that he doesn't get hurt. One who criticizes and blames to keep people away. I mean, after all, if people got close to him, maybe what his father said about him was true. And if it were true, then they too could shame him and dislike him.
Yeah. So how can you help me?
Well, I think it's time to contact your little guy and reparent him, right? By using some closed-eye visualizations, using the self-integration model to reparent him. You up for the task?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you know what I'd like you to do? I'd like you to actually close your eyes. Get comfy. And I want you to look for that little boy who was deeply criticized by his father. And when you have him in your mind's eye, let me know.
Okay, I have him.
How old is he?
He's 5.
He's 5. Okay. And can you describe him to me?
He's got blonde hair and blue eyes, and he's wearing jeans, and he's got on a t-shirt with a T-Rex on it.
Oh, okay. And where is he and what is he doing?
He's sitting in his bedroom and he's crying.
Okay. Can you ask him if you can approach him?
Okay.
Hey, what does he say?
He just shrugs his shoulders and says, okay.
So I'd like you to approach him and ask him if you can sit beside him.
Sure.
Now I want you to ask him how he feels, and when he tells you, I'd like you to let me know.
He says he's feeling stupid for spilling his drink at dinner. He was at dinner talking about his new teacher and accidentally knocked over his juice.
And then what happened?
He says his father started yelling at him and calling him a moron, saying, "How stupid are you to knock over your drink? You're 5 years old, you should know better."
And what do you want to say to that 5-year-old?
I want to tell him that
No, just tell him.
you are not stupid and you are not a moron. You're just a little boy who got excited, who wanted to tell his story about his new teacher and how she was excited about seeing your new t-shirt. And just because Dad says these things, it isn't true. You're just a little boy who got excited.
Okay. Julian, are you ready to reparent this little guy? To protect him from people like your father, and to validate him and nurture him and hold him close, and to guide him through perspective and good mentoring?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay? So when you're ready, I want you to come back to this room and open your eyes. You may be wondering what the postscript is on Julian. Julian did a lot of work. He learned to contact his little guy and learned to be vulnerable. He saw his part in relationships and he took accountability for it. He understood his adaptations and how he learned his adaptations from his family of origin and became cruel and mean to keep people away. He worked really, really hard, and as a result, he has fabulous relationships today. He knows how to be accountable. He knows how to be vulnerable and not critical and brash and judgmental. And he's seen tremendous changes and improvements in his life.